Hey guys, episode 9, gonna make you sweat. So we're gonna talk about sweating as summer comes around. That we're seeing lots and lots more of that happening more easily. So more sweating. Most people are gonna associate that with being, just absolutely gross and getting disgusting and having to change your clothes a couple of times a day when it's hot outside, especially this week as it gets funky and the humidity's up and just everything's sticky and it just feels gross and that perspective. But I'm going to talk about the upside to sweating. So one of the cool things about sweating is it helps to maintain the proper temperature and to keep your body from overheating, because you don't want your body to overheat, because then you would, die. And that's kind of important. So what sweat does is it helps to kind of cool you down and maintain that. It's also going to clear out your pores. So sweating comes out of the pores, helps to clean them, helps to eliminate things like acne, blackheads, and then just increasing circulation is another piece to that, because you want to get things circulating in your body. You don't want anything stagnant. Just like a pond gets stagnant, that's when it gets nasty. So you want things flowing, just like a river or a stream, as opposed to a stagnant, nasty pond. Also helps to relieve stress and promote relaxation. Getting yourself sweating and releasing things like that very much helps to release stress and promote relaxation. Another cool thing that sweating does is it can kill viruses and bacteria that literally cannot survive in temperatures above 98.6. So that's the whole reason why your body develops a fever whenever you have some sort of virus, bacteria in your system. It's because that fever is actually good for you. So that fever will actually kill the bugs that you want to not live in your system. That's why your body temperature goes above 98.6. And then eventually you'll break a sweat, you'll release some things, and then the body temperature comes back down when the body's ready. Remembering that the fever is part of the solution, not the problem to be treated. Make sense? Now, the next thing that I'm going to talk about is expelling toxins. And so we've got all kinds of junk that we're bombarded with, exposed to in this day and age. So we want to be able to get them out. So supports proper immune function. So for example, your lymphatic system. You need to be able to have things circulating through that. And then sweating is a great way to kind of draw toxins out and to draw the fluid out and make sure that the blood flow is pumping, the lymphatic system is pumping as our temperature elevates. That also upregulates your metabolism when your body is in a higher temperature. So getting yourself up to that point where you do break a sweat and maintaining in that level does some incredible things in that respect as well. Particularly among the toxic overload, there are a tremendous host of diseases that are associated with toxins accumulating. And so we want to make absolutely sure that we're able to pull those things out. And one really cool thing that I learned relatively recently in my adult career as a healthcare professional doctor is that you can actually even draw out heavy metals in your sweat. So things like mercury, things like aluminum, those heavy metals can actually come out of your body through sweating. And so one of the things that we've also run into is many people are dealing with complex biotoxic situations or even cancers. Many of those people, they just don't sweat. They stop sweating at some point and they can't get those things out. So inducing the sweating, which is why many of those people utilize things like an infrared sauna to induce that sweating capability to start drawing those things out of the body. Now, when you do sweat a lot, especially in the summer, you can have a tendency to lose a lot of fluid. So you want to make sure that you're getting half of your body weight, so 50% of the pounds that you have in your body weight in ounces of water. So you want to make sure you got plenty of fluid to hydrate. Now, the other part then too is that I don't know if you've ever noticed, but sweating isn't just water. It can kind of, if you accidentally sweat, you get a drop into your mouth, you can taste a little bit salty. So that saltiness, or the electrolytes in there, particularly the sodium and those components that are in there, have a bit of a salty flavor, but you want to make sure you get replenished in the electrolytes. Now, I don't mean rush to the Gatorade conversation, because there's a ton of other sugar, artificial colors, and all kinds of nasty junk in something like a Gatorade or a Powerade or whatever. What I'm talking about is natural sources of electrolytes in your foods predominantly, and then water as well, and that combines together, and your body does a really neat thing with it, which essentially that's what your body does. When you put good stuff in the body, when it's able to heal and function correctly, then things get where they need to go and move to the way that they're supposed to move. So a couple of strategies toward getting electrolytes in your body. One is going to be coconut. So coconut is loaded with a tremendous amount of benefits. Coconut water, for example, has a lot of these electrolytes that we want. So coconut water is great for rejuvenation. I'll give you a little moment on osmosis. Some of you may remember that word. It's usually joked like you lay on a book and then you're going to learn through osmosis, but that's not the right use of the word. Osmosis is the movement of water, and water moves to the greatest concentration of the thing that it's referring to. So in this case, we're talking about electrolytes, and so water moves to where the electrolytes are. So put electrolytes in your body. So things like the coconut water, things like avocado is another really good one. Has potassium and magnesium, which are going to be great electrolytes for your body to have. And then even dark leafy greens, things like spinach, are going to have several minerals and things in them as well. And then of course, just don't skimp on the salt. Now, not your sodium chlorine table salt. We're talking about sea salt, like real actual salt. There's actually a brand called Real Salt that we use at home. But get those minerals in, get hydrated, and make sure that you get your body into a good warm state so that you can sweat and get all of the wonderful benefits out of that. So sweating is not gross. Actually, not sweating is kind of gross because that stuff stays on the inside. So like, comment, ask questions, subscribe to the channel, and certainly let me know what kind of topics you'd like answers to or things you want to hear about. Thanks.